When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, A Change Is Gonna Come, it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. President Trump has already had sit-downs with the wrong representatives of the black community. How about a real discussion with a true grassroots African American? Join and organize Operation Exodus Mississippi today, or become a supporter.
Yes. I want that. Oh, I need that. Gots to have that. I love my
Not to be popular. It's just I'm inspired by my brother, that Reality Temple's brother, the most powerful voice on the internet, that reality angel snubbing up 7. That's right, brother. I'm calling you out, brother. I'm building you. I'm putting you out there, brother. I'm shouting you out. That's my inspiration.
We're talking about not falling into the teacher trap, not falling into the website trap. So today, what teachers can you learn from? We just told you that the Akawu tells you that we're all a great teacher at the same time. So who are you going to learn from? You're going to learn from brothers like Sa-Neter. You're going to learn the positives and negatives from brothers like Sa-Neter. You're going to learn the positives and negatives of people like Brother Polite. The positives and negatives of people like Sarah Sutanseti. You're going to learn from Maurice Muhammad, Taalik Ibn'rad. You're going to learn from Nettercat. You're definitely going to learn from King Noble. You're definitely going to learn a little something from Brother Daku. But we ain't the only teachers in the world. There are other people in your lives right now that are teaching you things that you need to know. Now, do you follow your teacher every single place and everywhere? Not necessarily. But if you got a good teacher, your teacher is going to teach you how to think, not what to think. And if you learn how to think, then you can be critical of all information. You can question anything. Your teachers ain't going to get mad. Huh? Your teacher, if you're truly your teacher, give me the question. Bring them on. If I can't answer the question, then I'm going to meditate on it, reflect on it, and try to get back with you with the answer, get back to you with the answer. But I'm also going to encourage you to think. It's important for you to think. You're not just my student, you're also my teacher. I'm not your teacher, I'm also your student. Don't fall into the teacher trap. This has been Daku Akabo Wakatu.
Free your mind.
Our subject matter for these brief few minutes, if the heavens, if creation, if time allows us to do this, because we can leave this earth at any time. Nothing is promised. I could kick over dead right now trying to make this video. So nothing tomorrow. In fact, the next few minutes is not promised to us. So I appreciate time, the heavens, the creation. I thank YouTube, Facebook, wherever you may be viewing this commentary. I thank them for the honor, the privilege of being able to speak my mind in the very short period of time that I have. Now, what causes me to come to this video is that I was watching something on Sonetta TV, and Sonetta TV had a special guest, Minister Eric Muhammad. Now I want to make something perfectly clear. When I speak about Eric Muhammad, when I speak about Brother Ben X, when I speak about Louis Farrakhan, whoever I speak about or talk about, it's not nothing personal. I'm speaking and responding or replying to either an action or a commentary. Just like you may comment, you may reply to anything that I post. It's nothing personal, because I don't know Eric Muhammad. I know Farrakhan a little taste. I don't know these brothers like that. They have not done anything really well. Farrakhan is different, because Farrakhan lied to me. Farrakhan, I trusted him to do something, and he did not do it. So it's sort of personal with him, because he asked me to help him do something, and he did not do it. He's not a man of his word. He had an ulterior motive to self-elevate himself, and not the man that he claimed that he wanted to exalt. He mentions his name, but it's all about Farrakhan. It's all about him. So he deceived me, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. And all the things that he said did not come true. It was lies. So it's sort of personal, but yet it's still, we wish to maintain commentary or direct our commentary toward actions or comments, not nothing personal. I don't talk about Minister Farrakhan's dog or his wife or his children or his hair that he's dyed. I don't really talk about that. I don't talk about his perm hair. I don't talk about personal crap. I'm not interested. We're talking about these commentaries and these actions. Now, I want to speak about, let me find a picture here. Come on now, let's hurry up and get this done. Okay, where is it? Let's. Okay, we want to talk about Eric Muhammad. Here's Eric Muhammad, okay, who has a hatred for Malcolm X. Okay, now this is what brought me to this video. A comment that I heard Eric Muhammad speak, and he was replying or making a comment saying that he's a parakeet for Elijah Muhammad. A parakeet. And he used, I think that's exactly what he used. He used that example, parakeet. And he said this with pride. I'm a parakeet of Elijah Muhammad. In other words, I'm a puppet for Elijah Muhammad. It's all about Elijah Muhammad. In other words, I'm a slave. Now you saying this with pride. Are you serious? But you claim to have so much supreme wisdom, so much knowledge, but you ain't nothing but a Negro slave. Because when you say that you parakeet somebody like that, then you limit your knowledge to what they knew. And Elijah Muhammad is not here to take you to another level. So whatever level Elijah Muhammad left you on, that's exactly where you will stay. You refuse to use your own brain. You refuse to use your own mind. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be nobody's damn parrot, because we would be limited in their knowledge, in their understanding, in what they can comprehend, and we're also limited to their life, because when they die, when they get sick, they cannot function. You can't function. When they die, basically, you die. And so, what you see in the Nation of Islam, whether it's Eric Muhammad or Silas or Farrakhan or any of these people who's trying to rebuild something that's dead. Elijah Muhammad is dead. It's over. Then you have Farrakhan calling or trying to paint what comes out of his mind as something that Elijah Muhammad might have thought of. But it's not. It's his mind. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. It would have been much better if Farrakhan created his own organization with his own name and said, look, I'm influenced by my teacher Elijah Muhammad, rather than claiming the Nation of Islam, because he's not the Nation of Islam. Eric Muhammad is not the Nation of Islam. Silas, the Nation of Islam is defunct. It's dead. It's gone. It's over. It's dead. And those who are trying to resurrect the dead, you're not going to be successful, because according to your teachers, that's not possible anyway. According to your own teachers. But here you are trying to resurrect and bring the dead to life. It's not going to happen. Talking about logic, and you have no logic. They never talk about logic or reason or common sense, because when you are in a belief system, that's not required. In a belief system, if you are asked to believe, there's no need for common sense and reason and logic. But there's a place for being a puppet, because that's all that you can be. You're not of yourself. So there's nothing prideful. I would not be bragging about I'm a puppet or a parakeet for Elijah Muhammad, which of course is a dead man. And Elijah Muhammad himself said, don't follow dead people. But here you are. You cannot follow a dead man. Everything that you're doing is not coming from Elijah Muhammad. It's coming from what you think Elijah Muhammad might do. You can't follow a dead man. Eric Muhammad goes on to talk about they are not choir boys, in reference to young Pharaoh or anybody speaking they believe is ill against Elijah Muhammad. The Nation of Islam has a childish mentality. Farrakhan said, have you ever heard somebody slander a divine righteous man the way Malcolm slandered Elijah Muhammad? These Peckerwoods and other people slander Elijah Muhammad. Matter of fact, it's worse now than it was during the time of Malcolm. What you gonna do? Try to assassinate and kill everybody that talk about you? As long as we live, I don't care how nice you are, how righteous you are, somebody's gonna always be out there to try to slander you and talk about you or whatever. You're not gonna be able to, what you gonna do, try to kill the earth? Because that's what you're gonna have to do. The Nation of Islam is childish. They handle Malcolm X very, very poorly. Name calling, firebombing the man's house. Malcolm X earned that house and more. They could have just let Malcolm have that house. And I want to remind you also, Eric Muhammad, I want to remind you, you said that the black man is God. But you have pride in murdering Malcolm. He's a black man, right? He's God, but you had no problem in joy that the man is dead in his assassination because he talk about you. He talk about somebody. So what? And you run around here, if you notice, Farrakhan and Brother Ben and Malcolm Flex 10 or whatever, when you talk about their biracial God, according to the teaching, Wallace D. Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, said that Wallace D. Muhammad was a white man. That's what he said. He met the man. The man was in his house. You don't know. Wallace D. Muhammad said he was a white man. But let's just go with the belief that Wallace Farad Muhammad is a biracial man. He's still biracial. Your God is half black, and then your God was birthed from a white woman. You don't have no problem with that because I know the teachers. He had to come in white flesh to come among black folks. But at the same time, the black woman can produce all the colors of the rainbow. How come a black woman could not produce your God, but produce this light-skinned white man-looking person? You talk about the white man as the devil, but he sure is entrenched in your teachings and your belief. Eric Muhammad is also in denial about Elijah Muhammad and his extramarital affairs. Elijah Muhammad was married to only one woman, soul sister Clara Muhammad. May she rest in peace. But it was also way before Malcolm got involved. It was rumored that he was getting babies and he was messing around with these young women. Whether they are underage or very young, it don't make no difference. It's disgusting and nasty anyway. And the court system says that he's the father of these out of wedlock babies. And Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm that he had to spread his seed, that God told him that he had to spread his seed. So you are in denial because you want to view this man as some type of holy righteous, and he was not. He was a deceiver because he was doing something in the dark that he didn't want his followers to know. Why? See, a religion makes people crazy. Farrakhan, Eric, Muhammad, and a lot of the Muslims or whatever, all these people in religion, many of them are good-hearted, sincere people, but when they get religion messes them up. It turns good people really, really bad, even to the point of murder. And speaking of murder, they keep talking about also they're not choir boys and murdering black folks and how tough the Nation of Islam, giving an example about Temple number 7 got raided by police. The police came to you. You didn't go to the police. You tracked down and stalked Malcolm X. You do not stalk and track down other folks to murder them. You don't do that. You only murder black folks. That's your history. Also in denial of that. But that's what they do. They murder God. Because every time you see a black man, you see God. They have no problem with murdering God because somebody make them mad. They childish people. Silly. And you want to follow them. You want to follow them and listen to their rhetoric. And they so damn childish. Really. Well, I know the teachers too, Eric. Whenever you want to speak with me and get down with me, bring it.
Free your mind.
What brings me to this visit, again, I recently have been watching a few of Sonetta TV videos, particularly those where he has Minister Eric Muhammad as a guest, and Eric Muhammad was talking with another regular on Sanetta's platform, I believe. A person called what's his name? Jabari or Quasi or something like that, or Quasi? What's his name? Where are my notes at? Jabari Oseze or Suzu. I don't know. Y'all get caught up in this stuff. I don't know. Anyway, not to be disrespectful, but I think that the first name is Jabari Oseze or something like that. Now, where's my pickup of this man? I want y'all let's see what he looks like. Where is he at? Okay, here he is. Brother Jabari. Now, see, again, this is nothing personal. I just have questions because things don't make sense. They don't look, they just don't, they just don't look right. And what do you mean by it don't look right, bro? Well, what drew me to make this video is that Brother Jabari claims to be a Kemetic priest. We always want these titles. We always want to feel important, divine, and spiritual. He's a Kemetic priest. I mean, first of all, the reality is, to my knowledge, y'all can teach me, because I'm open to be taught, unlike some of you out there in YouTube land. To my knowledge, Kemet does not exist. It's called Egypt. Another name for it is Kemet, but Kemet no longer exists. Also, the people, the original people of that place, they don't exist either. So Kemet does not exist, and the people do not exist. So if Kemet does not exist, then who has the authority, who has the power to make you a Kemetic ordained priest? Oh, because you study. What do you study? You have all these books from all these scholars. I know. And truly, at the bottom line, when it's all said and done, if you begin digging into it, because a slave, a person that was a slave for over 400 years, what the hell do you know about Egypt? Where do you even begin? How do you even get to know about Egypt? Nobody from Kemet came to teach you nothing. No African, nobody came to teach you about this. Where did you originally learn about Kemet and Egypt? You got it from your slave master. It's called Egyptology. And y'all took it and ran with it because those people were black. And those people are black. Why are they black? They black because your slave master say they black. The slave master, the races are the ones who created the system of color of human beings. So they are classified as black, and they classify you as black, which is confusing because how can you be a race and a people at the same time? Because the Egyptians are Egyptians, they are part of the black race. You are black, you're called black, and you belong to the black race, but I thought black was the race. It's all confusing. So who ordained, my question is, who ordained this man to be a Kemetic priest? Where are you getting your knowledge and understanding? Because you're damn sure not getting it from nobody, from Kemet. They don't exist. Where you getting it? It's all made up. And you want to validate yourself because you read some books that's limited in their comprehension and knowledge, because again, people like this, they never mention common sense, they never mention reason, they're not analytical, it's still belief. It's made up. And the thing about these Kemet lovers is that they choose Kemet, or they might choose another tribe or another dark-skinned, ancient dark-skinned people, because they don't exist no more. The reason why they are focused on Egypt, ancient Egypt, is because those people are not here, because chances are they would not claim your ass. That's the reality. That's why they're not running around here trying to claim people on the continent that's alive, because many of them reject you, don't want nothing to do with you, and you know it. We always trying to be part of something where we don't belong. I guarantee you, these people in Egypt will not claim you. You have no connection to Egypt at all. And when you talk about Africa, he gets upset also, because he wants everybody to be African, but he never says or never makes nothing specific. Oh, you are African. African who? Who are you talking about? Am I Ghanaian? Am I Congolese? Am I Somalian? What African are you talking about? They never. It's always in general terms. And another thing I noticed is that the people on the continent, they are not obsessed with Kemet. I don't see people on the continent talk about Kemet the way these folks are doing. I don't see it. And they are on the continent. These people are so messed up in the head, they actually believe they know about the continent of Africa than the people that actually live, was born and died on the continent. They know more than they do. I don't see the people on the continent talking about black conscience. What the hell is that? I don't hear the people on the continent talking about African spirituality. What the hell is that? Many of them people on the continent of Africa don't like the word black. Don't call me black. Many of the people on the African continent don't want to be called African. They are happy and they have pride in the nation or the tribe that they come from. They don't want to be called that stuff. You have no connection. Here you have a person. You have a person like Jabari, and he brags about going to Kemet, going to Egypt. So how do you go to Egypt, brother Jabari? Do you go because it just so happened, not only can you go to Egypt, but you're going to visit your relatives? Or are you going as a tourist? You're going as a tourist. You have no relatives there at all. Everywhere you go on the African continent, there is no relative, not one relative that you go visit. You go as a tourist because you have no direct connection. You have no connection to nobody. Nobody in Kemet. The only connection that we have on the African continent are those in Liberia. And if you notice, these people never mention Liberia at all, period. The first thing they will say, well, the white man created. I don't care who created Liberia. Your people is there. And now they are Africans. They've been there for generations. They are Africans. And you notice these people, you would rather go visit some rocks. You rather go visit some rocks than get to know your people and have a connection. Oh, the only connection that you have are those in Liberia. And you don't want nothing to do with them. You want to concentrate on some dead people that no longer exist. And you want to go and feel like you smart and brag about your relationship to some rocks, because that's all that's there in Kemet. It's some rocks. And what somebody left on a damn rock? And you think I'm supposed to be impressed by all this. You think somebody's supposed to be impressed by all this stuff. The only one who is going to be impressed by things like this are those who are naive, those who are ignorant, those who don't know how to think. Nobody claims you, Jabari. Nobody's claiming you. Trying to be something that you're not. You can get all the books that you want to, all the scholars that you want to. None of them can connect the so-called Negro born in America to Egypt or Africa, period. Because we have nothing to do with that continent. We were created due to chattel slavery right here in America, period. We have their DNA. We have the DNA of the Aboriginal people that's here also. We also have the DNA of the Peckerwood. So this is what bothers me. It's all feel-good nonsense. Because you suffer low self-esteem. If you know these things, if you know that you're African, since you know, you don't believe, you know you're African, then since you know, then tell us exactly what people you talking about. Stop saying Africa in a relative sense. Talk Africa in a tribal sense, in a nation sense. The only connection we have is Liberia, and none of you want to talk about that. You want to talk about ancient Egypt that no longer exists because it makes you feel good. Ancient Egypt is gone. It's dead, but that's the way it is with y'all folks out here. That's the way it is. They love speaking about the dead. It's all about the dead. Your connection to the dead. And another word, when I was taught in the Nation of Islam, we was called Negro. And in the Greek, you can interchange the G with the C or the K, which makes it necro. Necro means dead. You're dead people. And we love things that's dead. Everything we talk about is about dead folks. The living people they catch hell. Talk about Malcolm X, he's dead. Talk about Elijah Muhammad, he's dead. Talk about Marcus Garvey, he's dead. All our heroes are dead. And those who are alive, you give them hell. Ancient Egypt is dead. Oh, I'm just so proud. I'm comedic. You proud to be dead. You proud to be in a damn casket. Are you serious? We must come up out of this dead state. Black conscience makes you dead. African spirituality makes you dead. Nothing here is making us alive. And so you wonder why you cannot progress is because you're dead.
Free your mind.
The following program is rated TVMA. Viewer discretion is advised.
I want you to focus on the dollar amount that you see on the screen right now. That dollar amount is $859.82, which represents the total amount of money that I have earned since I've created this YouTube channel. I received an email this morning from someone, and they called me a scammer. And they said that I am no better and no different than Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, and Brother Polite. Now, while I find this extremely funny, I also find it disrespectful. Because, see, in that person's eyes, I'm black. I'm a nigger. I shouldn't be able to trade futures. I shouldn't be able to do real estate. I shouldn't have technology because I'm a nigger. And see, this is how many of our people view other black people. There's no way you can be successful on your own. You have to be out here stealing and scheming on people. You're a nigga. There has to be the Illuminati behind you or some government agency behind you because you're a nigga. You shouldn't be able to go out here and do business and make money. No, I go out here and I hustle and I work hard and I make money legally and ethically. You can't find one person that I've stolen or taken anything from. And to sit up here and think that somehow $859 is going to transform my life is just idiotic. This camera that I'm making this video on is a $750 camera. The lens on the camera is $400. The microphone is $270. The stand is $170. These two monitors that you see, each one is $500 a piece. This right here, this iPad, $500. This right here, this MacBook Pro, another $2,000. This Dell XPS laptop, $2,700. The MacBook you see right here, $2,200. The microphone, $200. The gaming chair, $300. This desk, another $300. The actual desktop that's powering these two monitors is custom built. It cost me over $2,400 just for the graphics card, the processor, and the motherboard. But please tell me how $859 is scamming. If that's scamming, mind you, YouTube gave me this money, then I must be a pretty damn poor scammer. There's over $15,000 of technology in this room. And I did not come to the community and ask you to get me any of this stuff. No lectures, no GoFundMes, no DVDs, no documentaries. No status corrections, no real estate courses, no flashcards, no Tulsa real estate fund. All of this stuff in here you see I brought on my own. So how dare you come to me and tell me I'm scamming you when you've given me nothing but $859. Oh, let me fix that. YouTube's giving me $859.
Free your mind.
Alrighty then, let's get straight into this commentary. I only have a few seconds, few minutes actually. The person we just listened to, and he seems very upset, is a YouTuber. I learned his name is Elijah. His channel is What Happened to Common Sense. Okay? I remember I first listened to him. He was speaking about the Nation of Islam. I believe he said that he was born in the Nation of Islam. And the things that he said about the Nation of Islam, I can relate. And that's all I know about this young man. That's all. Again, I keep telling y'all over and over again, nothing personal, but we have a right to question. We have a right to question. These people act like we don't have a right to question nobody after being deceived so many times, lied to so many times, tricked so many times. We don't have the right to ask questions. You have the right to ask questions. Now, of course, some of us can get very, very silly. Some of us ask questions just to harass folks. But in general terms, we have a right to question. Those who don't like questions, I wonder about them. So we have Elijah. Somebody sent him an email that he claimed. He does not say who sent him the email, but he's upset and he's very defensive and about being called a scammer. So I was introduced, well, like I said, I knew about Elijah, but I saw my brother Dope Cook One making videos about this young man. I'm like, wow, why is he making videos? Like I say, I was familiar with Elijah, What Happened to Common Sense, due to his commentary about the Nation of Islam. I never really focus on anything else that he was doing until Dope Coke won and shout out, "Hey, you boy, I'm back." Send a shout out to my brother Dope Coke 1. And I know Dope Coke 1 would not make videos about this young man unless something is funny going on. So I'm not biased, I'm not prejudiced. I'm not prejudging this young man. I want to see what this is all about. So I go to his channel and I'm just asking a question. I'm making some inquiry. I'm trying to see really where this young man is coming from. And he's very defensive about this situation, being called a scammer. I know that's very upsetting to be called a scammer or a deceiver or a liar. That's not something good that you really want to be associated with. I myself, I have been called a scammer. But that does not bother me. You can call me a scammer. All you want to. You can call me a deceiver. Those things do not bother me because there is no evidence, there's no proof, there's nothing that you can do, can show, even close, that I'm some scammer or a liar or deceiver. As far as my commentary is concerned, I can be in error, I can make a mistake, maybe there's something I don't comprehend well, but I'm not a deceiver, I'm not a liar, I'm not a manipulator. I'm not a scammer. I'm not taking nobody's money and going to Disneyland on it. So I'm asking this young man, you have all that equipment that you're talking about, how do we know that it's not rented? Because if you're a scammer, when you have people like that's scamming, they want to present to you and make themselves bigger than what they really are. That's why you are attracted to them. You are attracted to them due to their alleged success. So when you see this young man, he's sitting there and he's talking all this, he sounds very intelligent and wise and whatever, that turns you on. You want to be part of that. But that's the thing that gets you ripped, because you get caught up in these stories, in the fantasy, in the delusion. Then next thing you know, you're giving these people thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're getting nothing in return, just like what we see nowadays. Some of the biggest scammers are the church, all this religious-oriented stuff. The biggest scammers. Been waiting on God, been waiting on Jesus for thousands of years. These people been getting rich and you don't have nothing. So all I'm saying here in this case, why are you so defensive? People have the right to question after all the scamming, after being tricked so much. People have the right to question. If you have a problem with legitimate questions, if your equipment is not rented, just show some damn receipts. It's easy. And go about your business. But when we just want to play some kind of victim, and you know you have a certain amount of people who are caught up in these delusions, in this fantasy world, then you become defensive because maybe you're upset somebody's messing up your game. Somebody's messing up what you're doing here. So don't be defensive. Simply, if it's not rented equipment, just show some damn receipts. Just show your degrees if you Umar Johnson. Unless you don't really have them, unless you putting on a show.
The following program is rated TVMA. Viewer discretion is advised.
Free your mind.
This is a question that I'm raising that I've been wanting to ask for a little while, and so now is good time as ever, I would assume, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Because I've always wondered about this question. And I've always, matter of fact, I did ask the question. I never did get an answer. So, man, what is this? It's on my face. What I am, hold on a second here. Alright, sorry for that. It's slight interruption. Yeah. I'm just curious. There's a brother right here on YouTube or out here in social media. Our brother Lenon Honor. And I think that it's appropriate that I can ask this question now because he's done or doing a series of videos in relation to manhood training. And this is what I want to... People do not like when we ask questions, when we bring certain things up. They get awfully angry. Well, I guess you're going to have to get angry. I want to... Okay, we're talking about manhood training. But we're doing it from the perspective or in an environment that you don't even control. How are you going to talk to anybody about manhood training, but yet you under the domination of another man? So exactly what kind of manhood training are you exhibiting when you're just showing that you're comfortable in the house of the man that dominates you? How is it manhood training? How can you step forward and dare present to other men or talk to other men about manhood training or training to be a man when you are exhibiting behaviors to show that you have become comfortable living in the domination of another man? You're living in this redundant rhetoric, what we call racism, white supremacy. How can you be a man? How can you train to be a man living in the house of your enemy? And you are obeying your enemy's laws, his policy, and whatever that man that dominates you puts out, you are trying to be this beautiful, perfect, law-abiding citizen. No man is going to tolerate that. Why are we having these children to live, and our boys supposed to become men living under the domination of an enemy, under another man that hates your guts? What is the purpose of having children? I want to give you this as an example. Joseph Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy, who was a Catholic, Protestant, something to that effect, the father of President John F. Kennedy, he had a purpose for his children. And at that time, those who were Catholic, those who were Protestant or whatever, I forgot exactly what their standing, but their standing in society was pretty low. It wasn't very great. So the plan of Joseph Kennedy was to raise up a son, because a daughter would not be accepted as president of the United States, to raise up a son in order to take the highest office in the land, so to uplift his people, the Catholics in this country. That was the purpose of having these children, to raise one that will take the office of the presidency. When you have children, they're supposed to be purpose, not to simply carry your bloodline. And in nature, nature does not care anything about your bloodline. Nature only cares about their species. So this species is not in danger. And there's a false narrative that you're supposed to be able to live through your children, which is a lie. They have their life, you have your life. When you die, that's the end. You do not live through your children. That's some kind of feel-good rhetoric garbage. You do not live through your children. They live their life, you live your life, and that's it. Serena and Venus Williams' father had a purpose in having his children. I want to raise tennis stars. Now, whether it's the presidency of the United States or whether it's tennis stars, you're not, or you should not be having children just because you can lay down and produce them. There should be a purpose. And you wonder why so many people out in society are wandering aimlessly because they have no purpose. They're just put here and that's it. As a struggling people in this society, the so-called Negro, the African Americans, or whatever you want to call us, whatever you want to call yourself, as a struggling people in this society, the purpose of our children, the purpose of our babies should be what is in the best interest of us. Not for their personal career, not to be a doctor, but a doctor for the people, a lawyer for the people. It should be for the upliftment of the people. And if you are a man, that should be the purpose of you producing babies, so that you can produce that which is in the best interest of a people struggling to get out from under the domination of another man. Who cares because you have a job and take care of your family? Who cares? So what? You want a cookie for that? Just because you pay for your children to go to school or whatever it is you think, that's not manhood. How can you call yourself a man, but you're living with racists? And you send your sons and your daughters into danger, the same danger you was born into, without a real clear purpose, and that purpose should be relieving us as a people from this domination. So if you're teaching manhood training, if you're not teaching your sons or your daughter or your children, the number one priority in your life is not to go smoke some damn weed, not to go to a damn movie to see the damn Black Panthers. Your purpose and your mission is to improve this condition. Your purpose for existence is to avenge those who came before you. If you're not doing that, then the only thing you're doing is exhibiting slave behavior. How are we going to live comfortable in a slave society? That's all that you're doing. I don't see no other purpose. You making slaves for your slave owner. You're not a man. A slave. Woo! A man, a so-called man, in a condition of a slave, you are in no position to teach manhood training to nobody. Because a slave cannot be a man. Thus, you are in no position to train nobody to be a man. Your children don't even have purpose. Their purpose is just to try to make it in the society because you're dominated by another man who hates your guts, who has never treated you right, going on 500 years. Why am I here, Father? Why am I here, Daddy? Why am I here, man? What do you tell your children why they're, what's their mission? What's their purpose? Just to be a comfortable Negro slave. There are animals. If you put them in a zoo, they refuse to breed. They refuse to breed because that's not their environment. They will not bring their babies into an unnatural environment, detrimental to them. These are animals, but when you domesticate it, like rabbits and dogs and sheep, and you just breed, not for the benefit of you, but for the benefit of your owner. And so we still have this slave mentality to breed, because you're not breeding, you're not producing babies, you're not having a purpose for yourself, what is beneficial for yourself. Because when you think about beneficial for yourself, you're thinking about what is beneficial for the group, for the people, not for your individual progress or satisfaction, for your comfortability in a racist society. And that's where we find ourselves. Your children are supposed to benefit you, but you're having these children just so they can benefit somebody else. Maybe I'm off base, maybe I'm incorrect. Y'all straighten me out. I just don't see it. I don't see bringing children into this world so somebody else can use them. You have somebody like Michael Jordan, you have Oprah Winfrey, you have all our people that's supposed to be so damn successful. But when it's all said and done, when you look at it, they benefit their slave owners, their masters. If Oprah Winfrey has $1 billion, believe me, her slave masters have made way more than $1 billion off Oprah. If Michael Jordan is worth $1 billion or whatever, believe me, those who handle him, his slave owners, have made way more than that. But these scraps from the table being the real talent, and we getting these scraps, that's success. When you refuse to get out from under the domination of another man, then as his slave, then he takes away from his slave, and you give to your father. So when we talk about manhood training, exactly what are you teaching these boys? When you're talking about training to be a woman, what are you teaching our women, our girls? Exactly what is being taught to them? Why are you bringing children into the world while you are dominated by another man? Is manhood training revolution, or is manhood training just a vessel so that in our selfishness we bring children that you should have let stay wherever the hell they was at, bring them into this mess?